Hello, and welcome to the top 5 Skyrim mods of the month for July 2023. It's been another month where it's difficult just choosing 5 mods to feature out of so many. And with Starfield just around the corner, I've seen people wondering whether Skyrim's modding scene will start dying down, but honestly, looking at months like these, I just can't imagine that day ever coming. Anyway, I'll be using a mix of the highest rated mods and a few of my personal favourites. They're also in no particular order, and let's begin. Dogs. Dogs are good. Dogs are loyal. Dogs will even fight horrors for you. But Skyrim doesn't really do them justice. So enter A Dog's Life, a mod which gives your canine companions the respect they deserve. After adopting many of the new strays found across Skyrim, they can be named, fetch items, pimped out with new bags and armour, and of course petted many, many times. There's even survival options, where you have to keep your dog happy with food and playing fetch, and it's just everything you could ever want in a mod. Perfection. With this mod, it's better to just show rather than tell. Shoop. Yep, you can see your body now. There have been a few popular mods that do this in the past, but nowadays they break with most load orders. But finally it's back and working better than ever. Okay, well, it does still require plenty of patches for certain mods, but once that's done it works as intended. And it's just one of those small things that make a huge impact with immersion, as you no longer feel like a head just floating about. And also, let's face it, the reason it's the most downloaded mod of the month is because people are putting on skimpy armours and looking straight down. Which, you know, I'm not judging. Okay, maybe a little. But whatever floats your boat. I'm a sucker for open worlds that slowly change over time. It's one of my favourite things about Red Dead Redemption 2, and few other games have managed to match its level of detail. And clearly these mod authors thought the same, as their latest mod adds gradual decay to dead animals. So let's say you hunt a wolf in the wild, it'll later become a decaying carcass. And eventually just a pile of animal bones. There's even multiple models for each creature it covers, so every dead body has a chance of looking different from the last. Although, one thing to note, by default, it takes 4 in-game hours for a creature to decay, and 12 to become bones. The reasoning is so it goes along with Skyrim's sped up timescale, but if you're like me and find it to be a bit too fast, someone else has made yet another mod where you can configure the decay length of time. Ah, the wonders of modding. Skyrim was designed around the philosophy of every frame a painting. In other words, no matter where you're standing, you should be able to find some screenshot-worthy scenery nearby. And so it makes it the perfect game for a photo mode, which this mod adds, and it just works exactly how you'd think. With sliders you can adjust camera angles, depth of field, add different visual effects, and so much more. And it is worth pointing out that the stuff to do with colour grading, like the saturation, doesn't override your ENB settings. But where this mod really shines is with modelling your character, as you can select from a huge amount of poses and facial expressions that work pretty well. And while with all this stuff you could usually achieve it using console commands, it just makes screenshots and creating thumbnails so much more convenient. So thank you. A new Simon Magus mod dropped, so you know what that means. It's going to feature in a bunch of my Modlist reviews in the near future. And this time the mod adds something simple, but it makes perfect sense. You can now craft spell scrolls and enchant staffs. So after finding or purchasing scrolls, you can now deconstruct them and learn their enchantment. You then approach one of the few scroll enchanters that are scattered about the world, like this one in the College of Winterhold, and with some items like gem dust and paper, you can create powerful scrolls of your own. And the same pretty much goes for staffs, where you purchase an empty one and enchant it at a table. Not only is this something convenient and just, makes sense, but also it requires the Mysticism mod, which adds a ton of new spell options and tweaks staffs and scrolls to be far more useful in a fight, so you actually have a reason to craft them. And of course, you can sell them for money. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate it if you gave it a like as it helps the channel grow. And a big old thank you to my Patreon supporters, Ter Aura, Jaden Shaw, Janice, Jake Carlo, Dweezil Peepants, Rook, Alec Bentley, Jack Ma, and Christian Howell. And thank you to those who have donated on my Ko-fi account, Mr. Unnamed Ko-fi Supporter, and Blissy. I'm in the process of moving house, and so things are chaotic, and money is going, and I don't have much time, but it's because of your donations that I can actually afford to set aside time to work on these videos, so thank you so much. Thank you and farewell. As you can select from a huge amount of poses and facial expressions that work pretty well. And while all this stuff you could... Oh god, the police, they found me. Run!